Friends, so the Oscars were yesterday, so I decided I might as well complain about them because that's what everyone does. The major complaint I would like to make about this year's Oscars is basically the same as all the others, which is just that there's no real point to it because it's not at all meritocratic and no one really votes, and everyone who picks out the Oscars is just a bunch of elderly white liberals. So, why should I even care? Although I would say that them all being white is by far the least of the Oscars problems. It's There's so much worse with that whole institution. For one thing, probably just the fact that um, Star Wars, like what's it, Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back didn't get an Oscar, even though I think it's totally good enough that it should have gotten one. A lot of animated movies like don't get Oscars, and even the ones that do normally don't deserve it. Gosh, it feels like, wasn't it last year? Didn't Boss Baby get an Oscar, or was it just nominated? I have no real idea. Um. Anyway, so my Halo's showing. That's a funny joke. Eh. Anyway, so yeah, let's complain about the Oscars. Let's complain about the Oscars. Like one complaint I've heard this year is that Black Panther got an Oscar that wasn't the one it deserved. Like, it could have deserved an Oscar for, like, best performance or something, but it didn't get that one. It got the one for best picture, which is not one that it deserved. It's like, didn't it get 3 Oscars? I don't think Black Panther, like, I've heard it's really great, but I don't think it's like 3 Oscars material. I think it's barely 1 Oscars material. But then when you consider the fact that I think every 50 Shades movie has been nominated for an Oscar, and one of them actually got an Oscar or two, that just makes you figure, well, maybe nothing's Oscar worthy because those movies are terrible. And so, like, gosh, well, if that movie gets an Oscar, maybe it's bad to get an Oscar. Maybe we should avoid Oscars like the plague because they're terrible. Maybe they're badges of shame that are only handed out to people who make crap because, just because 50 Shades, I've never even seen them, but they're famously crap. But, that is just my opinion. So, whatever. Mm. It's just, whatever, just insert jokes about how the Oscars are crap, and they tried to fix them being crap by having uh, all women in charge of the Oscars this year, and that didn't really work out either because they were all kind of trying to hog all the attention for themselves, and they had like 6 of them on stage at once. And when you have 6 women, all of whom are trying to glory hog each other at once on stage, that just makes it suck. It's like, why couldn't you just have, like, I don't know, Kevin Hart host the Oscars, or literally any black actor, or just any actor at all? Maybe just only have one of the, like, 5 women that you had host it. Just have one of them host it. Or, I don't know, maybe just anything, but what happened would have been good. If you just It would have been better if they chose literally anyone else. Trevor Noah, who has to be the least funny person who can be reasonably called a comedian, would have been better than the 6 girls that they chose. I think any individual woman would have done better than the combination of the 6 women that they had host the Oscars. They just messed up in the worst way possible, and it looked terrible. But you know what? That is only my opinion. I'd love to hear what you had to say. What were some movies that deserved their Oscars in your opinion? What were some that didn't? I would love to hear what you people have to say in the comments. Like and subscribe. And as always, this is Kristen Lobsterson.